When the Thunder announced that they were going to be without SGA, Jalen Williams, and Isaiah Hartenstein, among other players as well, but those of course being the most notable ones, I thought, all right, the Thunder are going to try to ruin the Bulls' tank here and letting some of their key guys rest, but fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, that did not stop the Bulls from still playing bad and losing this game to a very undermanned Oklahoma City Thunder team. Now, I have kid because even with the Thunder being down all those guys and of course being without their superstar in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, there's still a better team than the Chicago Bulls, which I guess is sad to say, but it's true, especially considering the fact that the Thunder play so incredibly well together as a team. Great team chemistry, team continuity. That phrase still gives me PTSD, but even shorthanded, they're still a much more polished team than the Bulls, as the Bulls are still trying to figure out how to play together with this entirely new roster who didn't have an offseason and training camp playing together. Now, as I've said before, and how I'm sort of watching the rest of the season, seeing what we have with some of these younger guys, as well as general trends that we're seeing across the board, of course, the biggest thing that still remains a trend for the Bulls: turnovers. Again, to be expected when you throw a bunch of new guys on a team, but man, you would expect this to at least be getting a little bit better with every passing game. And some of them are just bad turnovers, stepping on the baseline when driving to the basket, poorly placed passes to a cutter, Rob Dillingham bouncing the ball off his heel in transition when trying to go behind the back. Turnovers you're used to seeing at the high school level, not in professional basketball. Another 19 turnovers for the Bulls tonight. They've more or less been averaging between 19 and 20 turnovers since the trade deadline. Tonight, they gave up 25 points on those turnovers. They only forced 9 turnovers to the Thunder. The biggest difference in this game that we haven't seen from in other recent games is the fact that the Bulls only had 6 fast break points in total. That's it. Like, even since the roster overhaul, they've still managed to be a good fast break transition team. They still play with good pace, but only 6 fast break points tonight, and you contrast that with the Thunder's 20, who did not have a good offensive night, by the way. They only shot 43%, same as the Bulls. They struggled to hit their threes, going 10 for 42, while the Bulls went 17 for 49. That's really what kept them in this game, or at least kept it from being a blowout. We did have some scary moments that happened in back-to-back possessions, I might add. We saw Giddey go down with an apparent ankle injury. He would hobble his way off the court, but not before getting off a 3 in the corner. After the Bulls were able to get that offensive rebound, Giddey would get taken out of the game after an ensuing foul stopped the play. On the following possession, on the other end though, Modest would go down with an ankle injury off a rebound where I believe someone landed on his foot, and he rolled his ankle as a result. Both players would go back to the locker room. My initial reaction was, oh boy, the tank is really going to be on now. The Bulls might not win a single game for the rest of the season, depending on how severe both of these injuries are. Luckily though, Giddey would come back into this game. Modest would return from the locker room, but would not return to the game. After the game, Billy Donovan did confirm that Modest sprained his ankle, and he, along with Giddey as well, would be reevaluated tomorrow before the Bulls embark on their West Coast trip. I don't mind if those guys have to miss some time, especially in a season like this. You just hope that it's nothing serious, especially when it comes to Giddey, who has had these lingering ankle injuries ever since getting hurt in the 2024 Olympics. Giddey did have a good game though. Not as good as the other night against the Bucks, but 14 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, a steal and 2 blocks, shot 5 for 12, 3 for 7 from 3. He did have 4 turnovers though, which was a team high. That said, some of his turnovers that he's getting charged with, I feel like they're not always his fault. Like, he'll make a nice pass, but the guy that he's passing to isn't coming to the ball, or is slow making a cut to corral it, and Giddey gets tacked with a turnover. Modest was okay in this game. He did only play 20 minutes after not returning in the third quarter. 11 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. I still would like to see him get more shots up at the rim rather than from deep, even though he has been shooting it decently well on high volume from 3. And then I tell you, man, Yabusele continues to be an underrated pickup for the Bulls. Dude is a tank in fighting for the rebounds. 18 points on 7 for 14 shooting, 4 for 10 from 3. He struggled with his shot in the first quarter, but then came around and started being more productive on offense. 18 points, 12 rebounds for Yabusele. Nick Richards also had a double-double, 12 points and 13 rebounds. I won't lie, the Bulls have been a much better rebounding team than I thought they would be after acquiring all these guards and trading away Vucevic, but it's in large part thanks to Yabu and Richards, and of course Josh Giddey being one of the better rebounding guards in the game. And then Colin Sexton, man, dude is really making it difficult for the Bulls to tank. He was taking the Bulls on that run in the final couple of minutes where you thought, are the Bulls somehow going to pull a win out of their ass, led by Sexton just hitting some insane shots. But Sexton once again would lead all scorers with 20 points on 6 for 14 shooting, getting to the foul line 6 times. Man is getting way more minutes than he probably should, but hey, I do like and appreciate his energy. And look, Rob Dillingham has not been playing well. Yes, I still want to see him get minutes because why not in a season like this, but I also understand that at times why Billy is sitting him, because he just makes some pretty bad plays. He can't shoot. He's got great speed, but speed and knowing how to use it when you get into the teeth of the defense are two different things. He's had some nice plays here and there, including, in this game where he had some nice drives to the basket, but nothing is screaming foundational piece here that the Bulls can work with for the future. And then, man, what has been going on with Isaac Okoro? Still great on defense, and that's why he stays in games and gets a lot of minutes, but his offense recently has just been really bad. Tonight he went 0 for 5 from 3, struggled to finish at the basket, even smoking some layups. Yeah, been getting a little concerned with him being an absolute non-factor on offense, when the Bulls really, at a minimum, need him to just be a reliable corner 3 shooter. If nothing else, we just need you to at least knock down those corner threes and also help space the floor. Leonard Miller, still like what I've seen thus far. 8 points, 3 rebounds, played aggressive, good instincts on defense. Need to see it consistently over a number of games, but he's been a solid rotational player while the Bulls are going through all of these injuries with Pat and Jalen Smith being out. So anyway, don't worry, Pro Tankers. The Bulls are back in the losing column. The tank is still on after their first win in over a month on Sunday. But let me know what you guys thought of this game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.